What's going on, everybody? So today I have another sort of loot video for you, and we are talking orange elites. So on the back behind me, you'll see me clear through a bunch of them on a bunch of different classes. I've cleared over 500 that I've managed to at least jot down or record my drops from them, so we can go over the drop rate later on and talk about everything orange elites and my process here. Now you'll notice behind me I'm actually on my necromancer, and I believe you'll see me swap to the wizard. I am still currently a demon hunter right now, and I had swapped to barb and monk. Now I wanted to record some footage. I actually recorded this, as you can see, I'm a necro, so I recorded this about a month and a half to 2 months ago, with the wizard clips as well. It's taken me about a month to 2 months to chart this down. I wasn't able to chart down every single time I was farming because I was doing other stuff, but anytime I got some free time to chart down some extra orange elites, that's where you'll see the data come in later on in the video. Now, most of the areas that I was able to farm these orange elites, you'll see behind me, is going to be the ship. The ship farm really has a high concentration of orange elites. It's not quite as efficient in terms of XP as some other farms out there, like of Realm Domination, or even some of the other, you could say, less good but still more active farms like Mount Zavane or something like that, or even Frozen Tundra. But you'll find that in this little location, there's a ton of orange elites that spawn because you're so often so close to each other, and on top of that, you will just be in this spot clearing out the monsters as soon as they spawn, which gives us some extra time to spawn those insane orange elites. Now, if you wanted to speed this along a little bit quicker, you could jump into the Plains of Torment circle farm and go ahead and run that if you wish to go ahead and pick up some of those orange elites even faster. But this was a lot more relaxing for me. As many of you know who have tried this spawn out, it's pretty relaxed. Just sit back, record, and then be able to kill these orange elites as soon as they spawn. Now, what's cool about the orange elites as well is that this whole video, really, I was partying with at least one warband member, so I did have a couple warband chest drops. I did not record those because I didn't find that they were extremely important. Also, with the recent changes to the warbands, it kind of messed up some of my testing because I ended up killing orange elites and jotting them down when they dropped warband chests, but with the boosted amount from the warband raid, so I decided to kind of omit those. But they can drop multiple elites, or oranges rather, as you might have seen from this video, or from the video behind me. You'll see some of the orange elites drop a double legendary. Another important factor is that I did not include any of the daily orange elites. They give you a guaranteed legendary item because that would completely skew up the drop rates and all that good stuff. Now, unfortunately, I am on my demon hunter right now, but I can show you some of the effects of the legendary items because I don't have a whole huge sample size of drop rates, or dropped items rather, to show you. But what I will say is, over the course of about 2 to 3 weeks, I've been able to triple stat basically every single legendary item. This was triple stat, but I got a piece today, since we're approaching higher and higher Paragon levels, and actually this exceptional piece outclassed my triple stat already. Another important thing to note is that I do happen to have, if I scroll down here and move myself over a little bit, 90% magic find. And I will go over that when I go over the drop rates and tell you what you can expect when we go over the data here. Another important thing to mention is that I did not include any of the bestiary legendaries. So if I was counting orange elites, I'm only counting orange elites. I'm not counting the experience or how long it took. But as I said, 500 orange elites, you can expect that to take a very long time. You would probably find, on an average, hour of farming the ship, 6 to 7 orange elites in an hour, which, if you do the math, that's roughly about 80-90 hours of gameplay that I actually was able to make sure I keep track of in order for me to record all the 500 orange elites. So 80-90 hours of farming the ship to get my orange elite drops and figure out what the drop rate of these things are. Now, previously, when we were first starting out the game, our initial impressions were, okay, these orange elites are probably dropping legendaries about 15 to 25% every single time you kill an enemy. It was a little awkward to try to figure it out, because there was a lot of people testing, and the one time per day where you get the guaranteed legendary really screwed things up. And then Blizzard released the post saying that you have the guaranteed first legendary of the day being dropped no matter what, and then you also have the 4 first yellow elite monsters dropping at additional rate. So it made it very confusing, seeming like the orange elites were guaranteed because, you know, you had the guaranteed legendary, and then you had the yellow elites that seemed like super high drop rate, but now we know what it's like. But we didn't know what the actual drop rate of the orange elites were after that first guaranteed. So hopefully this gives us an idea and helps us figure out what that drop rate really is. Now, with all that being said, I will go ahead and try to post a screenshot of the total here, just the base total. It's nothing too fancy here, but basically I farmed over 500 orange elites and I charted all of them on a spreadsheet here. Now, what I noticed from this spreadsheet is that you'll find that I actually got quite a few times over the course of about 500. I got about 30 or 42, it looks like about 42 legendary drops, meaning 40 times the orange elite dropped 2 legendaries from them, which is pretty insane. And then I got a lot of times, about, let's say 15% of the time, about 1 legendary item from those drops, which equated to, over the course of the entire time I spent here, which, you know, was a long time, I got a total of 180 legendary items. Now, that is a lot of legendary items, but if I just pull up a calculator here and we kind of do the math real quick, 500 divided by 180, that's going to put us at, or sorry, 180 divided by 500. That's going to put us at a 0.36% drop rate, or 36% drop rate, 0.36 every single time you kill an orange elite, you get a 0.36 chance to go ahead and drop a legendary item, which is pretty cool. But 36%, you have to keep in mind that this is modified by Magic Find. So this is where it gets a little bit more complicated, because what you'll end up finding is Magic Find, from what I experienced, going from about 15 to 90%, was about a 50% increase in legendary drops. Now, if that was a 50% increase in legendary drops, you can expect to roughly get about 24% or 24% drop rate, right? Because 50% increase of that ends up being 36%. So 24% drop rate from these orange elites is on the higher end for sure. However, it is in the range of what we thought orange elites were dropping legendaries at. Keep in mind that the way this works is you'll drop legendaries less often in terms of how many orange elites you'll kill, but you'll make up for it in the double legendary drops that some of the orange elites will drop for you. So that's extremely important to know, because a lot of you won't even see any of this until you farmed so much orange elites that, you know, you can't even keep track of it anymore. Another important thing to mention is that I was running Treasure Hunter the entire time with Greed active, which will increase the chance of drop rate equipment from elite monsters in outdoor areas. I assume that played a very large portion into me gathering a bunch more legendary items, but of course I can't tell you exactly how much that affected us because I don't really know how those interactions work. So that's pretty much it for this video. I just wanted to showcase what orange elites were like, the drop rates associated with it, and all the data that I've charted over the course of about 2 months. It did take me a little while, so if you guys did enjoy the video and you're curious about any future drop rates, I thought about doing yellow elites. That might take me a lot more time because I wanted to do like a sample size of, again, about 500, maybe 1,000, which might take me, you know, another month or so. But if you're curious, be sure to like the video, sub to the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow.